Okay, hi Nikita. This is me giving video feedback. This is only my second run through of doing this, so bear with me. Hopefully it won't be too wobbly or rubbish. Okay, so brand new ancients. You've got a few spelling, punctuation and grammar errors in the first bit. I'll just point those out and mark them on there. It's something to think about. Start taking notes of things that you're getting wrong. For example, making sure that titles of poems and of the poets themselves always have capital letters. That's probably one good thing to remember for your coursework. You've got also the it's. Just to explain, you need an apostrophe there because what you're saying, and it is modern. So what you've done is you've just taken out that I, so you need to put an apostrophe in. That's the only time you would have an apostrophe in that word, but when you're saying it is, you need an apostrophe there. Okay, so in terms of content, I'd suggest you do need to work on your vocabulary a little bit. I know you'd ask me at the start of the lesson, kind of how academic does this need to be? Can we use the word like and things like that? But you do need to think about your use of those kinds of words. Try not to use them at all, particularly in your coursework. I think it was a really honest interpretation. So you've said that you could relate to the topic, you like how bold and honest it is, it makes the reader reflect on themselves, but also the society we live in today, which was fantastic. Just watch your spelling of repetition. It's an E rather than an A there. Really like the use of terminology, that's good. I also enjoyed the way in which you connected herself with the audience too by using we. Presumably this line is because you weren't sure what kind of personal pronoun it was. I've just given you it. So it is a personal pronoun. But I think you should explore a little bit more of the fact that we connects the audience to what's going on. Okay, so it's the connection with what's going on that you needed to explore there. Okay, so Greek again, because it's a country, there are people, capital letter there. Okay, so it's a Greek biblical theme. Takes the harshness out of the truth being told. That's a really interesting point of view, but you haven't really gone into it in any more detail. A2 is all about massive loads of detail. So here, I'd really want some detail about why do you think that? So how does it make it less harsh that she's included Greek biblical themes? I think that's important, and perhaps it's because it takes us out of our society. It relates us to other societies. The inclusion of God and things takes it beyond ourselves, but it's still based within our own society. So something along those lines, I haven't explained that very well at all, but something to do with the fact that it isn't all just based around us and our communities, it's related to other things, which means that it's less focused on criticising us and our society. So something along those lines would be great, and evidence for that, brilliant. Okay, so this theme, yeah, is shown through the use of semantic fields. Brilliant. Just get rid of the A, so it's use of semantic field. Never use for example. Use of semantic field in words relating to Greece and then quote them. Okay, you need to work on integrating your quotes a lot more. That's one of the areas you need to look at, just so that your writing is much more fluent and it appears more academic when we're looking at it. Furthermore, fantastic. It looks a little bit like two separate words there. Hopefully it's just one. It should be. Don't refer to poets by their first name. Okay, so it should always be their surname that you use there. She used multiple juxtapositions in emphasising the theme and the point she's making, which is what I think you need to reiterate what that point is. And again, you need an apostrophe here because you're saying she is. Okay, so you need an apostrophe there. Yeah, emphasising the point she's making, godly, monstrous. I think just reiterate what that point is because you hadn't looked at that for quite some time since the start. So lastly, I enjoyed there was no real structure, no rhyming pattern. However, in places there was rhythm. Okay, yeah, I think it's important that you've spotted that. We'll look at how you can more technically describe that, but I think that's fantastic that you've spotted kind of the rhyming and the rhythm and the structure. Really important to look at those, and I'm really pleased you've done it so early on in the course. Repetition again, just make sure that you've got that spelling down. I know things are difficult with your spellings, but that's one you'll probably have to use quite a bit. Kate, again, just call her Tempest, does this through repetition or replacement in the verses. There's always been heroes, there's always been villains. Okay, so there has always been villains, so you need an apostrophe there. I like that you've appraised the poem at the end as well, so you enjoyed the poem, there's nothing to it that you disliked. Needed to plan and organise paragraphs. Yes, absolutely agree. Short amount of time, but I think we need to look back at the overall structure of how you're putting things. Needed to do point, example, explanation and fit in my quotes. Really good, you've picked up on that integrating of quotes. There are other ways of writing your paragraphs that I've put up in the classroom, so you don't always have to use point, evidence, explanation. There are some other ways. We've got Peter and Petal and iced. There are a few different ones, so maybe find a different one to use. I think PEE on its own is probably not going to include everything you need. Fluency, thought was okay, could flow, but yeah, definitely agree on that one. You have used a lot of terminology. I think that's a real strength to this. It shows me that you're quite confident with it, you've remembered things, you're able to spot things. I think it's just your overall writing, and really your structure will help you with that. So I think the main thing you need to do is find a new way of writing your paragraphs and start practicing it. Start putting paragraphs together. You can use this poem, use any of the other poems on the website and have a go at it. Okay, that's your feedback. Well done. I'm really pleased you've remembered loads of terminology. That's a super pleasing thing. And yeah, we just need to work on the way you're structuring and writing your work so it's a little bit more academic. Okay, thanks very much.